When Cheers first came out in 1982, almost no one watched it. I know that sounds crazy to say now, it being one of the most popular sitcoms of all time, but seriously, it was bottom of the ratings, and honestly, on paper, it didn't even sound that exciting. A sitcom just set in a bar, not around a family's household or not in an office, just a bunch of adults hanging out after work and talking. It felt small and kind of odd, but here's the thing. The people making it were doing something way more ambitious than anyone else at the time. They didn't know if it would work or if people would care at all, but what they ended up creating changed sitcoms for decades. This is the story of how Cheers created one of the most popular sitcom tropes of all time. So sitcoms from the early 80s were kind of basic. You always had your setups and your punchlines, and maybe you had a life lesson every now and then, and that was it. But the guys behind Cheers, Glenn and Les Charles, along with James Burrows, weren't just there to write bar jokes. These were writers who came from the show Taxi, which already played with quirky slice of life storytelling. But this time they wanted to take it a little bit further, slow the pace down, and give a little bit more emotional depth. And in doing so, they decided to model Sam and Diane on the dynamic between Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn, but just with a lot more tension. Sam was a washed-up Red Sox pitcher who owned a bar, and Diane was a refined, overeducated grad student who just got dumped and needed a job. Total opposites, and yet from the moment they spoke, you felt the tension, you felt the sparks. But the fun wasn't when they'd get together. It was how long the writers could keep us interested while they weren't. I mean, right from the pilot, it was clear that there was something there, but they didn't flirt, they more so dueled. They had this rhythm. It wasn't really romantic yet, but it wasn't not romantic either. Almost in the way that you would see two school children bicker back and forth, and that meaning that they actually like each other. But the show didn't push it. There was no dramatic first kiss in episode 2, but Sam did go in for a kiss in episode 4, where he was promptly dropped immediately.
Appreciate what you've got. Live for today. Go for it, Sam. I tell you, go for it.
And to me, this was the writers saying, like, no, it's not going to be that easy. They were dedicated to giving us that slow burn, and man, did it pay off in the finale of season 1.
You are the nuttiest, the stupidest, the phoniest fruitcake I ever met.
You disgust me. I hate you.
Are you as turned on as I am?
More.
Season 2 lets it play out a little, and then they tear it back down again. They fight, they break up, they reconcile, they combust. This was kind of the formula. The writers knew exactly what they were doing. They didn't just stall, they paced. They built arcs around tension, because once the couple was happy, the engine dies. And Cheers knew that. So by season 3, Sam and Diane were the show. Ratings took off, critics loved it, and people were hooked. But off screen, it was a lot. Shelley Long, who played Diane, left after season 5. The relationship, both on camera and behind the scenes, had reached a limit, which in turn set the stage for this gut-wrenching departure and probably one of the most memorable moments from the show.
I'll see you in 6 months.
Have a good life.
And the creators were kind of panicking. Diane was the heart of the show's central tension. She wasn't just a love interest, she was the spark that made everything else work. So when she left, they brought in Kirstie Alley as Rebecca. And to their credit, the show adapted well. The tone shifted, the dynamics changed. It became more of an ensemble. Still great, still funny, but it had lost that lightning in a bottle feel, and it just didn't hit the same in my opinion. The show would continue to run on for 11 seasons, wrapping up in 1993 for the finale, and to everyone's surprise, they brought back Diane.
Norman Clifford, you're exactly the way I remembered you.
And as you'd expect in this 3-part finale, Sam and Diane end up reconnecting and believing that they can rekindle their relationship in some way. There's this moment where Sam almost leaves with her. They get close to the fairy tale ending, and then he says,
"Hey, you know,
Yes.
I think we both know.
It was the show choosing realism over fantasy. They knew not every love story needs to end in a happily ever after. Sometimes it ends with two people realizing they just don't work together. And somehow that felt a little bit more satisfying, because the story of Sam and Diane was never about resolution, it was just about the ride itself. So with all that being said, obviously TV writers took notes, network execs took notes, because audience weren't just showing up for the jokes anymore. They were showing up for the romance and the possibilities. It made viewers lean in. It made them come back. So every show that came after tried it in their own way. Moonlighting, Friends, The Office, New Girl, How I Met Your Mother. Some nailed it and others kind of flopped on it. But they were all chasing what Cheers had originally built. The idea that tension wasn't something to solve, it was something to stretch and to savor. So now anytime you see two characters who clearly like each other but can't seem to figure it out, you're watching another version of Sam and Diane. When a show strings out romantic tension over seasons because they know the second the couple is happy it's over, you're watching a derivative of Sam and Diane. Cheers didn't just use this trope. They built it, and they didn't just do it well, they did it first. If you made it this far, thank you. It means a lot. If you're into sitcoms, character arcs, or just love digging into what these shows really mean, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. My goal is to eventually cover every sitcom that's ever existed in one way or another. If there's a show you think I should cover next, drop it in the comments. I'm taking recommendations and I'll bump those to the top of my list. It feels like there's millions of sitcoms out there. So if you're into that, stick around. More videos coming soon. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one.